Explain it as easy as you can for our viewers, many of them business people. Tell me what's involved for you to get this wire ready to go.
Well, we had to install anchors on both sides. You need an anchoring point for the wire to stop at. So we went from on both sides of the border, and in the U.S. side, they had to drill down through 60 feet of soil and to get to the bedrock. And then the anchors go down in 15 feet in the bedrock, and they're mortared in down there. And then over here, they went down a hole 1 foot and hit bedrock in Canada. So that was a little easier for them. They didn't have as much drilling, and they went, I think it's 20 feet over here just because it was so close, you know. And then, so we have our anchor points where everything's going to be relying on to hold our equipment in place, plus hold the wire in place. So we get to that point. Now we have to have a puller that can operate between 30 to 40,000 pounds of pulling tension. And we also need a tensioner to hold the wire back so it just doesn't freewheel and then fall down into the gorge, you know, 180 feet down below us here. So between those two operators, they're gonna get the wire over here. For us to get the rope over, the rope is good for 15,000 pounds of tension. It's actually breaking strength is like 80,000. So our working load's 15,000, so we got to get the rope over there twice. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out 1,500 feet here in Canada and do a long splice into the rope itself for a place for the helicopter to hook onto. The helicopter will come over, we'll clip that hole or that the eye into their releasing hook, and then he'll fly it over to a few guys waiting over there on Terrapin Point, and they'll lower it to them. They'll get a hold of the rope and put it through a block, and that'll give us our 2-part purchase. So they'll only be seeing 12 to 15,000 pounds of pressure on each side of that rope, well within the limits of our rope tensions. They'll get that hook, that turning block will be then hooked to a swivel, and then to the walking rope, the 2-inch walking rope. Now that wire rope is 2 inches diameter, weighs close to 7.5 pounds a foot. I think it's 7.36 or some stupid thing like that. But so they'll get that over, get it hooked up, and the reason we're using a swivel is because if that starts to spin and our rope starts spinning around itself, it could cut the rope. And we wouldn't want that because then everybody gets to go home and we don't get to see the walk. Right. But so we're going to get that all hooked up, and once we get ready, the puller and the tensioner will say that they're all set. And they have good communications. The spotters, yeah, we have good communications, and we'll start the wire pull. From there, it'll be just the two guys on the machine doing their deal. They've been working together on a transmission job that we have. They've been working together for the past 7 months, running similar equipment. This is just bigger. It's the same thing, the same manufacturer and everything. It's just larger than what they normally run. So we have those guys pulling the wire in, very confident in them. And then once we get it over to this side, our tensions are going to start to increase. So we'll stop the pull. We have a couple of grips that we're going to go out there and grab a hold of the wire with, and then we'll let back into those grips. And then the wire will be stationary on this side, will be stationary on the other side. The problem we have is the socket that's going to pin to our anchors is going to be way short. In order to get the tensions, the rope to be able to handle the tensions, we're going to have to 6-part the line. That means it's going to have to start at one point and go around pulleys 6 times. And then once it's 6-parted, we'll be able to then again hook onto, we'll have 4 more grips on the wire, and we'll connect that tackle onto those 4 grips, and then we'll pull it the rest of the way that we need to pull it. And the tail is going to be just flopping around there. We'll have a couple guys grab a hold of that and pull that back and pin it to the anchor. When that's done, we'll let back in to the, get off our grips, and then we'll let the cranes, we're going to have a crane on each side, and the cranes, we're going to adjust the tension, the full 60,000 pounds of tension, we'll get that adjusted with the crane balls, up, down, we'll swing, do a little swinging maybe, whatever we need to do to get that tension where we need it.